Hello everyone and welcome to First Talk, where we are looking to simplify your super, and today we're going to be talking about salary sacrifice. I'm Jason, I'm here with Andrew and Peter, the financial advice team here at First Super. So Peter, salary sacrifice, what is it?
Well, effectively, it's exactly what it says. You're sacrificing some of your salary to put into your super and help build your superannuation. And there are some pros that come as a result of that.
So what are those pros?
The benefit is that you're saving tax. So money goes into super and it's taxed at 15%, and that is most times better than your marginal tax rate.
So how do you actually do it, and what are you actually doing?
So you basically approach your payroll office and you ask them to take X amount of your wages and put it into your superannuation fund. And it's as simple as that.
Okay.
And what's left then gets taxed at your marginal rate, and that's where the tax savings comes into play.
All right. And is it for everyone, Andy? Do you think everyone should be doing it?
Well, if you ask Peter, he'd say yes.
Yeah.
But then he also likes the idea and likes the members that are on high incomes. But we've got a lot of members that don't earn that much.
Yep,
And
yep.
their cash flow's hard in that regard. So from our perspective, we're saying if you're below 52,000, certainly give it some consideration. But there's also what we call the government co-contribution that's available to them, and you can do the mixture of the two.
Yeah, so as Andy was saying, if you're earning more than $52,000 or even more than $37,000, you're in that 34.5% tax bracket. Goes into super, it's taxed at 15%. The higher income that you earn, the greater the tax savings. So anyone over at $90,000 a year, they're in that 39% tax bracket, they're saving 24% in tax.
So what tax bracket are you on, a 50 plus, or is that?
That would be nice, but we work for Andy, so it's Andy that's making the big bucks here.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But, I guess for everyone, and one of the hard things that I find when I'm talking to people about salary sacrifice is, well, I don't earn enough, or I don't save enough. I can't afford to put in an extra $1 to my super. What do you say to those members that come to you with that?
There's a couple of options, but one is, I'll give you an example. I was talking to a member a couple of years ago, and we were talking about planning his retirement, and I drew to his attention he was making salary sacrifice contributions. He had literally forgotten about them. He started them when he was first joined the organisation. An older work colleague suggested he do it, so he started it, and he was quite surprised about how much it actually built up his superannuation over the years. So there's that aspect. So regardless of your age and so forth, just start.
Yeah.
Is the key to it all.
And it's pretty flexible as well, which is one of the main things. It's not like you're locked into it. If you're starting and you say, well, I'll try $50 a week and see what that works. And if you're finding that you're a bit tight on that, or you can do a little bit more, it's flexible and you can increase and decrease it as you need.
What we tend to find is that as people get that older and they start to pay off their mortgages, Jason, you just bought yourself a brand new home, so congratulations there.
Thanks,
so you
Peter.
might not have too much spare cash flow.
Absolutely not.
As you get pay increases, you might look at putting those into super
Yep.
to help build it up over time and save a bit of tax. But yeah, as people get older as well, they get rid of the kids, they pay off the mortgage. A bit like Andy, you're getting closer and closer to retirement, you might have some more surplus cash flow. You can look at putting those dollars into your super as pre-tax.
No, the kids are still at home. That's not happening. That's not happening.
Put up an eviction notice and see how you go. Just stick it on the door when they get home tonight.
I'll ask them to make the salary sacrifice to my super.
Yeah, that sounds like
So
a good
people got
idea.
spare cash flow, they can put that into super. It's flexible, we've spoken about, but there have to be some negatives around it. What are some of the negatives around it?
Yeah, well, I guess as you get older, it becomes a little bit more closer to touch. But, for someone that are in their 20s and 30s, you're looking at probably another 30 years before you can potentially access it, until you're after 60 and retiring. So that can be one of the big drawbacks to it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, with that, what do you sort of say in terms of, is it right for people that are in their 20s and 30s to start somewhere?
For a number of people in their 20s and 30s, they actually is a better opportunity. And it comes back to what you said before, and that is you can stop it at any time that you want to. So you can increase it, decrease it, stop it completely. You're getting married, you're having children, you've got the home mortgage now. It's totally flexible around that. It's about starting. That's the key to it.
Yeah. Well, the home mortgage is there, but for the children, I'll definitely push that out as long as possible, I think.
So have you told your partner?
No, I haven't told her. Hopefully she's not watching.
So there are obviously rules as to how much you can put into super. What are some of the rules about how much can go into super? And what happens if you break those rules?
So, I mean, the rule is that there's $25,000 is the maximum you can put in a financial year. And that's made up of these salary sacrifice contributions we're talking about. There are your other employer contribution, the superannuation guarantee, and there's also what is now available, the personal tax deductible contribution. Those three can't exceed the 25,000. If you do, you're going to get a nice little letter from the ATO and going, oi, you need to do something about this.
And what happens if you go? So what happens if you get that letter from the ATO, Andy?
The options are you can leave the money in your superannuation fund, but it goes in what they call a non-concessional contribution. So the surplus, what's over 25,000, stays in there, but the surplus is then added back to your assessable income and you pay tax on it. The other alternative is you take the money out, and the tax department still taxes it at your marginal tax rate. You can't escape it.
Yeah, you can't escape.
You can't
it.
save tax by doing that.
And there's no way sort of around it. But they want to let you save tax and build your super, but not too much. They don't want to give you too much as well. So I mean, I guess it is something to be mindful of. How much are you spending up to that cap? And if you do have a lot of money, let's not exceed it, because then it can provide headaches, I guess, going forward.
So we've got a number of members at this time of the year where they're finding out that they have exceeded that cap. And part of it is all to do with the EBA and the increase in their salary. So it's that employer contribution that suddenly increased, and that's what's taken them over that cap.
So people should just check to see on a fortnightly or a monthly basis, and certainly on an annual basis, that they're not going to go over that $25,000 amount.
Now, and the government, just to complex it, have introduced the carry forward rule. We won't go into that today, but if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about this, phone our contact centre or speak to our coordinators, or if you want to know how it actually applies to you, make an appointment with one of us. But the carry forward rule suddenly allows the member to actually exceed that 25,000 and still not get a letter from the ATO. But there's some special conditions around that.
It's quite complex.
One of the things you mentioned earlier was a personal deductible contribution. What's a personal deductible contribution, Jason?
Yeah, so I mean, the salary sacrifice generally happens on a weekly or fortnightly basis, however often you're paid, and you stick a regular amount. But some people don't have the ability to do that. They might be sort of self-employed or somewhat self-employed as well. You might find a little bit of money coming to you at the end of the financial year. You might go down to the pokies and hit your numbers and get a nice winning. So what you can do is, if
you're advocating that,
I'm definitely not advocating that. No, don't head down and spend your money on the pokies. But if you do come into some money, you can stick it as a lump sum and claim a tax deduction. So it works the same way as salary sacrifice, just a different way to do it, a different lever to pull.
Oh, okay. So if you haven't got the spare cash flow each fortnight, but you do come up with a lump of money, you may have sold something on eBay, for instance. I know you're big on eBay, Jason, and selling a lot of your things.
Power seller.
Power seller. So if you've got some spare cash, you can just sort of dump it into super and have it treated like a salary sacrifice contribution.
Right. It works the same way. It's getting the tax saving as well. It's just basically different things that you can do.
Do you like the way he went, oh, it's like the penny just dropped from him. How long have you been doing this for?
It's his first week on the job. So I guess summarising and bringing it all together, Andy, what are your key call-outs that if you're talking to members?
I think regardless of your salary, your age, just actually start it. You're in control, like I say, so you can increase, decrease, and even stop them altogether, depending upon what's happening in your life.
And Peter, anything to add?
I like to save tax, as you know, Jason. So the more tax I can save, the better for me. So it means more money in my pocket. So that's why I look towards salary sacrificing.
So what's that you always quote about Kerry Packer?
Kerry Packer, famous quote from Kerry Packer. Two famous quotes from Kerry Packer. The first one was that he doesn't mind paying tax, just not too much tax. And the other quick one was Kerry Packer's second favourite day in his life was buying his boat, his big yacht, and his most favourite day in his life was actually selling the yacht.
There you go. If we've heard that one time, we've heard it about 1,000, I think, as well. So thanks for joining us today. You've been watching First Talk, so feel free to contact us. The contact centre number would come up. If you want to have a chat to them or want to book an appointment with one of us, please feel free to reach out. So,
and don't forget our coordinators.
Don't forget the coordinators as well. So the coordinators in your local area are available to contact and have a chat to you about what to do, how to do it, and how to talk to the payroll and that sort of thing. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next week.